Hey everyone, it's Sarah from Color Me Beautiful, and I'm here with Lucinda, and today we are
Hello.
going over the color choices of the 2019 Academy Awards.
Yes. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sorry.
And the perfect. We're also going to show
Yes,
you our
there will be
favorites.
some perfection.
Yes, but we're going to start with ones that we thought could have changed a
Just
little bit.
it's so amazing that a slight shift just in one color, one way or the other, can make such an incredible difference. One of the people that I noticed in particular, Charlize Theron.
Yep.
Her clothing in blue, she was dressed in blue, and she has changed her hair. She's not that blonde spring person that we've known and loved. Now she's a brunette. She's a winter now. She's changed her hair color. And her clothing, it was a summer blue.
It was that light sky blue.
Yeah, and a periwinkle almost, periwinkle blue. And that is a signature summer color, but not so great for winters. And I felt that she is stunning. And she didn't do herself justice. And by a slight shift in terms of color, which we'd like to show you our take on that, it could have been so much more dazzling and so much more powerful.
So, but I think she did a good job with her jewelry. Now, the only other thing that I also wanted to bring up was her lipstick. It was a bit orange for a winter.
It was like, I don't know where it came from. Anybody putting a lipstick on a winter knows that you've got to have a blue tone underneath that red. Not so good, not so
So
great.
she wasn't one of our favorites this year, but we do love Charlize Theron.
Well, she is always my favorite
Yep.
in whatever she wears. But in this, her normal, incredible, dazzling beauty just wasn't enhanced the way we'd love to see it enhanced.
So the next person we wanted to talk about is J-Lo,
Yes.
who looks stunning. J-Lo,
Always.
I don't know how she does it, honestly.
She's just
Who knows?
dazzling.
But,
However,
yes.
this is a warm woman. This warm red gold highlights. She is a golden woman. And I just think that she would be so much more dazzling in a gold rather than a silver. We'd like to show that.
Yeah, and her makeup did lean warm. It was just her dress kind of felt like it wasn't a full look put together. So as you can see, we went ahead, made her dress more golden, and her highlights come out. Her hair doesn't look as ashy.
Notice, and she looks more youthful. And obviously, J-Lo is gorgeous, regardless of whatever she wears. But in this mock-up that we created for you, imagine just the difference that one would see if you saw her in person or on the runway, just in that little shift from cool to warm. We need to talk about my absolute favorite. She's my idol. I love everything she does. I love her hair color. I love most of her clothing choices all the time. I think she's the most gorgeous thing ever to grace the screen, and that's Helen Mirren. Love her. However, I felt that her frock, I'll call it a frock, was a little too intense. I felt like the dress arrived on the runway a split second or a few seconds before Helen's face did. And what we want to do is always see the face first, not the clothing first.
And you also had an orange layer underneath of it, so it made that dress lean a little bit warm as well, which she is not. All.
She is a frosty princess. She is gorgeous. She is cool, and I like her in summer. So, I think she's dressed a little more toward the winter palette, but then that orange underlayment kind of threw it out of winter into something that, I don't know, pop princess might wear or whatever, but it just didn't strike me as the classic Helen Mirren.
Right, and she got the silver jewelry correct. But all we did in this image,
diamonds.
of course, all we did in this image was just kind of toned it down a little bit, and also her lips as well. We went for more of a dusty look for her, which really just blended everything beautifully.
The next person we're going to talk about is her all-time favorite, her style icon.
I love Amy Adams. I think she's amazing in everything she does. She's always beautiful no matter what. She could wear the complete wrong color.
A barn sack.
Yes, and still look good. I don't know how she does it, but she's phenomenal.
I think you look a little bit like her.
Oh, thank you. Well, last night at the Oscars, she decided to wear a silver and white dress. Now, I've seen Amy Adams a million times and I've copied her style a million times. And white and silver is not my favorite on her. Let me just say that.
Remember what I said about, for some reason, everybody was showing up in silver metallic? Now, for all of you summers and winters out there, take a page out of that notebook and realize that you could probably add a little silver, maybe a silver metallic top. That seems to be where things are going. But for you springs and autumns, don't risk it. Because someone as gorgeous, naturally gorgeous as Amy Adams, I don't think she pulled it off.
Right. And the image we're showing you, you can see that her hair just looks a bit dustier. She just doesn't look as bright and as vibrant.
Yeah, it seemed to just suck the color right out of her face.
So we ended up switching her dress to a gold dress with gold jewelry, and we also gave her lip color a little bit more orange to it. So it's a peachier. Peachier shade, and she just looks radiant right now.
And don't get me wrong, these women are gorgeous, which I think is such a good lesson for you guys out there. And that is, no matter how beautiful you are, if you're in the right season, you can always be more beautiful and more radiant and more perfect.
Next, we're moving on to our top picks who looked absolutely gorgeous. They wore their season and they rocked it the entire night. So our first pick was
Constance Wu. Whoop. She was lovely in, believe it or not, lemon yellow. Now she's a winter, so she can wear a beautiful, any season can wear a yellow. You have to know your yellow, and that's something to do a little bit of research on, because if you get it right, you're beautiful, your face lights up. If you get it wrong, you need to go change.
Right. And Constance, her lipstick, perfect. It was a perfect red shade for her. It was deep but also rich. I mean, just glowing that night.
So she gets a 10. I loved Nancy O'Dell and her color choice, which was very unusual on the runway last night, because
that turquoise, the emerald turquoise, looked
stunning on her.
Oh, I couldn't believe it.
Stunning. And what was so nice about it is she was well accessorized, that color was beautiful, and compared to many other golden blondes that I saw on the runway, she dressed her season. And I saw so many people who were wearing, you guessed it, metallic silver.
So Nancy O'Dell, she was the top spring of the night.
In my opinion, also just beautiful. And if you look at her photos, you'll see that her hair looked radiant. It didn't dust out the way we were talking about Amy Adams looking dusty. When you dress your season, your hair actually has a radiance about it, and people look at it and go, oh, beautiful hair, beautiful face. And she was the perfect example of that.
Next, style icon of the night.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, she is turning heads everywhere she goes right now, and this is
Lady Gaga.
Yes.
Gorgeous. Lady Gorgeous.
Oh, there you go.
Because,
new name.
Yeah, and it wasn't that $31 million diamond that she wore around her neck that caught my attention. It was her entire look. But her face was lovely. Her skin tone was beautiful. And she dressed her season with her hair being that cool white, silvery white. She's a winter, and she rocked the black. She looked like classic movie stars of all decades.
She was the showstopper. I mean, incredible. Hands down, Lady Gaga did a wonderful job.
But look at her face. When you see the photos, look at her face, because she's wearing black. Black can sometimes be a little difficult for some seasons to wear, but for her, it just brought out, you could see healthy looking skin, healthy looking face, just gorgeous.
And her makeup as well.
It was flawless.
Yeah, she stayed within her season. I mean, she did an incredible job. All right, last but certainly not least, my favorite is Regina King.
She was breathtaking.
Yes, flawless. I mean, everything about her.
Absolutely flawless.
This pure white dress on a winter looks absolutely gorgeous. The contrast was amazing.
Gorgeous. Her face was beautiful. Her makeup was to die for. And I know that I kind of tend to look at people in terms of age and youthful, and trying to create a more,
More
youthful
youthful.
appearance. And she is one that did it so well. Her face looked lifted. She had a beautiful kind of nude, not nude color lip, but an iridescent sort of see-through lip.
Yes, it was glassy.
Yes, like a
very,
jewel.
yes, it was perfect. The person doing her makeup did this winged liner that went straight up, lifting her entire face. Her jewelry matched, her silver
In
diamonds.
season, yes.
Perfect. Her cute
Beautiful.
bob. Absolutely everything about her.
She was gorgeous.
Yes.
And I was blown away by how youthful, and I know that you always are preaching about having glasses that lift and having makeup that lifts. Hers was flawless.
Yes, she looks like she could be decades younger.
Yes,
I mean,
she
absolutely
did
gorgeous.
look decades younger.
Great job on that entire look, flawless.
Absolutely.
So in the comments down below, we want to hear who you thought was best dressed of the night and why. And if you like these types of color analysis videos, hit the thumbs up button so we know to do more of them. And also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We want to see you guys and we want you coming back to view more from Color Me Beautiful.